Karnataka goes to polls in less than a year, and the Congress party has the task of getting its house in order if it wants to put up a tough fight against the ruling BJP in the state. The rift between the party's state chief DK Shivakumar and former Chief Minister Siddharamaiah was no secret, part of folklore. But the party put up a grand show of unity yesterday at the event to celebrate Siddharamaiah's 75th birthday. DK Shivakumar hugged him on stage. But did it out of his love for his colleague, or was he just following instructions? Well, if you look closely to the visuals on your screens, you can see Rahul Gandhi actually gesturing him. Bhai, hug him. And DK Shivakumar to hug Siddharamaiah, a signal the party's key stalwart promptly followed through. This forced show of unity comes on the back of the two leaders fostering ambitions for the Chief Minister's chair in the event of Congress returning to power in the state. While they've both been publicly maintaining that the decision on the chief ministerial phase will be taken by the High Command, their supporters and loyalists have time and again jumped the gun. Some would say the fact that Rahul Gandhi even attended Siddharamaiah's birthday bash and tried to broker peace is virtually giving endorsement to the former Chief Minister Siddharamaiah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's also interesting that the man who's not the party president and just a member of parliament is actually dictating the de facto responsibility that a president should. But will this be a success, or will we have a Punjab rerun in Karnataka? That's the big question. Joining the debate tonight, Brajesh Kallappa with Gaurav Bhatia and Tehseen Poonawala. And Brajesh Kallappa, you've seen Karnataka extremely closely. I really want to ask you, two questions. Is this peace forever between Siddharamaiah and DK Shivakumar, or is it just being done because Rahul Gandhi was sitting on the stage and gesturing, bhai, please hug each other, and then we'll see what happened in Punjab happening in Karnataka again. What are you betting on?
Navika, I'd really like to look at the big picture. Point is that both Mr. Siddharamaiah and DK Shivakumar have hugged earlier. When Mr. Siddharamaiah lost his son, DK Shivakumar hugged him, and they both shed copious tears. So that's not really the issue. Issue is this, that even in 2018, when Mr. Siddharamaiah was the Chief Minister, there was a large show of strength by Mr. Siddharamaiah, and there's no doubt at all in anybody's mind that he can actually muster crowds. That's a given insofar as Mr. Siddharamaiah is concerned. But in 2018, for various reasons, the Congress party lost the elections. Now, issue is, have those issues which lost the Congress party the election in 2018, have they changed in some manner? Because if it was the Bhagya scheme, so on and so forth and all that, has that, has some perception changed? What has changed from 2018, the loss of 2018, to what is happening now? Because, of course, squabbles are going to pull a party down, and parties have often lost because of squabbles. And whether it's even from the Janta days, when the party didn't see eye to eye, and when Bommai came apart, and when Devegowda didn't see eye to eye with Bommai. So it's been a continuous, sequence where from election to election to election, whenever the senior members of a political party squabble, it's always been bad news for that party. But issue is that elections are some months ahead, and the real squabble will begin when tickets are going to be distributed. This is the real point.
Well, Tehseen Poonawala, let me come to you. You've been saying that Rahul Gandhi's not been running the party, and the Congress president is Sonia Gandhi. Then what is he doing, giving instructions and virtually declaring Siddharamaiah as the horse that's been getting the backing from the Congress High Command with this show of strength? But let me remind you, he's done that in the past, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Jyotiraditya Scindia and Kamal Nath, and then we know everything is history now. Sachin Pilot, Ashok Gehlot, फिर you know what's happening. Amrinder Singh and Mr. Sidhu, and then came Channi from nowhere. We've seen that in Punjab. Where do you think this one is going in Karnataka?
So to your first question, there's no doubt that he's the tallest leader of the Congress party, and he's so tall that anytime anything goes wrong in the country, the entire union cabinet goes about attacking Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and they spend hours doing that instead of doing any work. So that answers Rahul Gandhi's question. But about Karnataka, the people of Karnataka across caste and religion are fed up of the 40% commission Sarkar. It's 30% for CAs and holy men, otherwise it's 40% for the Aam Janata. They want to throw Mr. Bommai and his administration out, who's brought the UP model into Karnataka. Karnataka's self-respect has been hurt by the BJP, incompetent BJP government.
Respond to the question on the relations between Shiv Kumar and Mr. DK Shivakumar and Mr. Siddharamaiah.
Why does Shiv Kumar and Siddharamaiah ji? There's Parmeshwar ji, there is SR Patil ji, there's MB Patil ji. There are plethora of talent in the Congress.
Only
and
four.
The winning MLAs will decide who's the chief minister. There's BK Hariprasad ji, and the winning MLA
Gaurav Bhatia,
chief minister, but it's a Congress government in Karnataka.
Gaurav Bhatia, if DK Shivakumar and Mr. Siddharamaiah come together, is the going to get tough for you? Will you have a similar hung house like the last time, and then some shenanigans to form a government?
Navika, Tehseen just said that Rahul Gandhi is the tallest leader of the Congress party. So if he's the tallest leader of the Congress, then Congress as a party is a pygmy, and we have nothing to be worried about. And I'll tell you the reason why. Congress today is imploding. It is full of leaders that are power hungry. There is no cohesiveness, no ideology. And it is very visible. Let's go to Punjab. You gave a very good example. Sidhu and Captain Amrinder Singh, they were busy fighting among themselves. The only state where the Congress was the incumbent, they lost that state. BJP won all the 4 states where we were in power. Then come to Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel and Tehseen Dev. Every second day, we hear from the news channels that Tehseen Dev is visiting Delhi and he wishes to be the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. They are not busy serving the people of the state. They are busy serving either their own interest or the Gandhi Parivar. Then Rajasthan. Probably Sachin Pilot is the only deputy CM who was slapped with a sedition charge by the Congress government, Ashok Gehlot. I've never heard of it. So these examples make it clear that the Congress party has no cohesiveness today, and even in Karnataka,
the jury is out. Desperate times give for desperate actions, even hugs as ordered by the party's tallest leader. But Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, never underestimate an opponent. At least in the field of sports, that's what is always said. I don't know if it applies to the field of politics. But of course, we'll see when the elections happen in Karnataka next year. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on the Newshour tonight. Good night. Be safe.